Hello? Testing? Testing? Yeah, oh, there we go. That's weird. My mic was working, and then I started the stream, and then it decided not to. Anyway, hello everybody. Today we're gonna react very quickly before I get to some keyboard ASMR, and then probably some Fortnite Delulu, to Stuckmoth by... I'm gonna be honest, I forgot how to say this correctly. It's not DECO 27. I thought it was initially, and then I heard somebody else say it, and it's not DECO 27. I'm just gonna say DECO. I know that that's wrong, but I'm just gonna say DECO, to be completely honest, because I forget how to do. So I'm a pretty avid Vocaloid fan. I'm new gen. I've listened to a lot of the popular stuff. Like, I don't get into a lot of the very, very, very indie things. I get into a lot of the newer indie things, so I like Rye and Mechlaton. But DECO is a creator I've heard just a few songs from. I've heard the popular ones. You know, you hear Vampire and Rabbit Hole. I don't like Rabbit Hole, to be completely honest. I think it comes off a little too strong. I listened to another deck. Oh, Monitoring, obviously, and I listened most recently to Marshmallow, which is the most recent until this. I listened to just a few seconds and immediately decided, okay, this kind of reminds me a little bit of the tuning on the Vampire, so I'm gonna go ahead and react to it. So yes, we're gonna go full screen because we always love a good music video. Here, we are streaming over on Twitch at twitch.tv/thediamondverse. So I should... Here we go. There we go, I got my chat up on my phone. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this. I know that there's English subtitles, which are great, obviously. I like English subtitles. So yeah, let's get right into it. I don't think I have to really preface this any further. Already reminds me a little bit of... So the original first few say, I love this drawn animation style, by the way. I don't think I've really seen much of this in any of the Vocaloid. I saw a comment when I was looking through the things the first time. I hadn't listened to it yet, but I decided to check the comments, and I saw a couple people saying that the thumbnail reminded them of Kikuo, or oh, I forget the other one. Anyway, I agree with that. I thought the thumbnail did kind of look like Kikuo. It kind of reminded me of Aishite, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the sheer look of this already, and the thumbnail. I will say the first few seconds kind of sound like Vampire, and then it kind of went into a monitoring type beat, so I'm very interested in this still. I love this music video already. Inverted. Okay, very, very much a moth theme. The song name is Stuckmoth, so it makes sense. I do like this 8-bit thing. This is a nice vibe. That's a nice vibe right there. That before I got into Vocaloid, before my 90s alt phase, before that I was into EDM very, very much, and I listen to a lot of generally like Monster Cat type EDM beats. That kind of remind me a little bit of something Nitrofun would do. So I definitely like that a lot. I don't know if I'd rely on that too heavily, but it's not bad. Sorry, I pause this so much, but I also, you know, I don't want to get, like, copyright. I want to make sure that I'm actually reacting to it. I take Jack's Films lessons to heart, you know, you don't want to... I'm going to listen to this twice. I'm going to react mostly to the sound of the music first, and then I'm going to see if I can decipher the meaning and such, because sometimes the meaning is a little hard to see. I think with Monitoring, the first version, it was very obvious, and then the Best Friend remix made that even more obvious. So DECO songs are pretty easy to see what the meaning is, unlike a couple of the other ones. I wasn't really sure what Marshmallow was about, but then again, I don't think I've listened to Ghost Rule yet, which I probably should. If you guys have songs that you think I should listen to, especially as a new gen Tedo fan, the whole stereotype, you know, then definitely send me those. I've listened to a lot of the popular older ones, the obvious ones, World Is Mine and such, but I haven't really gotten into the kind of second place things. So if you think I should listen to a couple of those, please leave them in a comment down below. I'm probably going to upload this as one of my first VODs to the Cagney Traveleur account. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to react to the music first. Kind of a Maratooth vibe, too. I like how it builds up. Ooh. Okay, stopped it up from the before. Holy mother of God! Okay, well, it definitely does remind me a little bit more of Kakuo now. It reminds me of the darkest song I've ever listened to with the sudden EDM beat drop, you know what I mean? You know which one I mean. Hold up. Okay. That was a good build-up. First of all, that was like that was a really good build-up. This is one of the songs I'd have to show to Taurus. When I was out at work at one point, and my mother was not at work, I had her listen to like 6 hours of Vocaloid music and then rank it on stream. I still have the VOD from that if you'd like me to upload that. By the way, I will do that. It was probably very fun. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I did react to her tier list, and she had some good choices. I think she failed to see the meanings of some songs, so Moderating was put a little bit lower because she genuinely thought it was like a stalker song, and she generally likes, I think, a little bit lighter songs than that, which I think is fair. I know she put Static at like the bottom because she just thought Static Miku looked like Pennywise from 8. Anyway, this is one of the songs I'd have to show her because holy, that's a good build-up. I don't think I've seen that yet from a lot of Vocaloid songs, but especially DECO generally has, I think, a little bit more of a full force kind of vibe. It's no punches held back. So let me go back a little bit. Obviously, Monitoring had like a pre-chorus and a type of a slow build-up, but this kind of build, I did not expect this. You know what I mean? Especially because Marshmallow, I talk too much. Especially because Marshmallow had like an alt rock vibe to it. So this kind of EDM 8-bit switch up is like out of nowhere. I like that. I like what they're doing, obviously with a synthesizer or something with the piano. It's very DECO. It's very much a riff that you'd expect, but at the same time, it's very cool. I've never seen, I don't think DECO use like the 8-bit type of synth yet. Again, it sounds very Nitro Fun to me, which is like out of nowhere. I didn't expect that at all, but this build-up is very, I don't know what I'd say that. I'd say that's very 80s. Oh, Taurus is gonna love this. I have to show this to... Holy mother of God! I'm gonna be honest, I would have done that, if it had been me, I would have re-looped that. I would have done that twice. So I would have done that EDM drop, and then another EDM drop, and then gone to another thing. I think that was just a little too short. But holy, okay, I'm gonna do it again. I'm doing it again. Because that is such a good drop. Holy hell. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it at all. I fucking love that bass. Do. That's I'm trying to rifle back like about 5 years time back to my EDM days, you know what I mean? So I could see it's not very Odessa, it's kind of more close to a Lamatra Feed Me type beat, but that heavier bass, that's not something it's something you hear often, but it's not something that's like very specific to an artist. A lot of EDM use that, but I really didn't expect DECO to like rock that so hard. That's very much not, I feel like, a Vocaloid a technique often used when paired with Vocaloid. So to hear that EDM, that takes me back like a decade or half a decade to a decade ago. By the way, I do want to catch some of this writing here. And I'm lonely. Either way, I'm lonely. What can I do? Time machine, anybody? Are these the lyrics we're about to hear? Because I saw Stuckmoth in a second. Screw you, the happy you. You take you forward. To pull him back is my way of life. It sucks. It's so annoying. Complete love and adoration. Just keep doing the things that I like. Okay. I think this is very clearly a song about lost love. But we'll reassess the lyrics in a second. Again, I would have extended that EDM just a little bit, but yeah, so this is what we're just reading. It's groovy. I will say, this is a thing that's probably against most Vocaloid songs, since it's kind of unfortunate. This happens in the Vampire as well. I don't necessarily like it when there's like an off-note kind of odd bridge. I think this would count as a bridge. I would have to be sure, but I think this. I get that there's like a breakdown and such. I do like how it built up into another build-up. I don't generally like the off-note type bridge thing. That happens in a lot of songs. Not just Vocaloid either. Hell, like the off-note type bridge thing happens in what's it called? Singing Italian songs. What's it called? God, I can't remember. I need to. I got out of bed. I was on my phone bed for a while. I'm still waking up my head, you know. Saturday in the Park by Chicago. I know that's a out of pocket reference there, but those types of off note things do happen in a lot of different songs, but I never like them, to be completely honest. But that's my only qualm so far, is the inclusion of the kind of, I think, generic and almost I feel like it's almost forced in songs now to have like 3/4 through, and not just Vocaloid either. I feel like it's almost forced to have like 3/4 through your song, just like how an animated movie has the characters like break up and fight 3/4 through the film. I think it's almost forced now to have like 3/4 in, have your song go through this like rapid rap type offbeat thing. This happens even in like Western Vocaloid songs, like Butcher Vanity. That whole the weird bridge. You know what I'm talking about? The really fucking weird bridge. I don't know if I like that, but all the rest of the song's been great so far. And I don't mind the lyrics either. By the way, I would say these lyrics are good. They're very well written. I've noticed that in comparison to a lot of more English Vocaloid songs, Western Vocaloid songs, and the original type Eastern Vocaloid songs produced by Japanese producers, it seems like a lot of the Japanese producers do better at lyrical writing, just in general. I don't think I've really seen. There's a clear difference in lyrical writing. Obviously, I don't understand Japanese, so I'm glad there are English subtitles, but I will say it does seem to be generally, just for no specific reason, it just seems to be a trend, that a lot of the Vocaloid songs made in English tend to have very simple lyrics. I would feel this one has pretty simple lyrics as well, but I think it's just written a little bit more story-like. It gets you a little bit more invested. So I do like the lyrical writing. I don't know if I like the part where this music surrounding this. Stay in your current address. I haven't even changed the keys. Kind of reminds me of this song so far. You know what? I'm gonna save that for the second, for when I finish this. Please drop it. Oh! Oh, okay. Just drop it again. Pray to God. Swear to God. Just drop it again, please. Oh, you're building up a longer time. Good. I will be honest, I liked this song all the way up until like 1 minute 34 seconds in, and then it kind of fell off. I'll be honest. I liked this song. The build-ups were great. The lyrical working was great. They did not drop the beat again. They just kind of looped the Love Me part over again. I was reading lyrics, obviously. And I'll be honest, it doesn't hit as much as I thought it would. I was really rooting for this to like be incredibly good at the end. I was like, okay, round it out. And it waited a little too long, and then it fell off. I'll be honest, I would say this is a solid... To me, this would be like a solid upper B tier, specifically because like right around this third quarter mark, I don't know what happened, but it stopped being... It looped too much. It did too many off notes, and then did too many like repeating samples, and it lost its way. I liked everything before that bridge. I will mention the one I do like the Vampire a lot. I know it's one of the more popular ones, but I do like the Vampire a lot. And one of the only qualms I ever had with the Vampire was it loops that. Hold on, let me get it. I'll enjoy music from my friend Ben York while I get up the other thing. Okay, here we are. This bit in the Vampire, the ending bit of the Vampire, just like Stuckmoth, it seems. This bit... By the way, you can see one of my favorite songs on the bottom right there. Pinocchio P's Goddish. I'll be honest, that's the one part I never liked about the Vampire. That looping na-na-na-na, it throws you off in like a horrible bad way to me. I think the biggest part I like about the Vampire is just the freaking drums that'll break your legs. It's very cool. I've actually gone to a place in my town where you can do drums and stuff. You know, it's a musical shopping center, but you can like interact with the instruments that they're selling and such. I've done drums to the Vampire before. It's a very exhilarating experience. But yeah, just like that Vampire bit with the na 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 na. This entire like ending bit where it was literally just this. The build-up in the music, I'll be honest, it's just too looping. It's just too much. It's too much. Hell, it even reminds me of Maritu's Mind Brand a little. At the end there, where it just goes, "Welcome to the mindfuck, welcome to the mindfuck," and it like even that was like just one too many samples. Just maybe just trim it just down just a few seconds in that one. This, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, the build-up at the end here does not save it, especially because the build-up leads to nothing. It leads to it winding down. Yeah, this is a good attempt at like a mid 2010s kind of EDM sounding track almost, but it really loses its way 3/4 through the song, which sucks because this was again a really rather good song. Yeah, I'd put this at like an upper B tier specifically because of everything before 3/4 through the way of the song, but it stopped from being an A or an S tier to me specifically because of how just downhill I feel it went, just like immediately after. So I'm gonna try and go again, and I'm gonna look at the lyrics this time. I'm gonna assess them. I'll be honest, from what I've seen so far, lyrically, it's interesting. It's interesting. I've got hits from previous eras that I always call to equate to DECO songs. So for the Vampire, I say that lyrically, the Vampire is lyrically and in meaning incredibly similar to Closer by Nine Inch Nails. It's about the same type of like addiction and such. And I would say actually Rabbit Hole is probably close to Nine Inch Nails in terms of like the actual meaning, but I just want to forget Rabbit Hole, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't. Hey, at least this song's not like overly sexual. That's a big win. Cause I'll be honest. In my head, DECO's kind of like the guy who makes the songs that are all about sex. It's a little overbearing, I'll be honest, sometimes. But to me, the Vampire is very lyrically similar to Closer by Nine Inch Nails in meaning. I'd say Monitoring is very similar to Who Can It Be Now by Men at Work, which Who Can It Be Now is a very silly song, but if you look at the meaning, it is about like a guy going through a mental breakdown who thinks the person outside is an alien or a government agent sent to watch him or whatever, and whatever. He says, you know, I'm here with my best friend. It's literally an amp, you know, the thing that produces the music. It's a speaker, basically, for those musically uninclined. So I always kind of equate different songs to, especially DECO's songs, because I feel like there's always a similar song that I've listened to in the past that like has the same meaning. So like I said, Vampire is similar to Closer in meaning, Monitoring similar to Who Can It Be Now. This one, I see this as like almost somebody I used to know, kind of. Because, I mean, it literally has like the same type of, I haven't even changed the keys to my car, kind of reminds me of the, you know, the change your number, I'm gonna look at the lyrics again. You can't just leave me. Abandon, hit rewind, I'm gonna keep loving you. Okay, so obviously it's a lost love. They've walked away. And the singer obviously wants, I don't really go for like identifying with the character being like the Vocaloid. I just see the Vocaloid as a stand-in for like an actor or such telling a story. So obviously our perspective, our singer is that wants to go back to a better time. Understandable. This isn't you, I swear I'll diss it. Okay, so is the singer in the wrong then? Make her crazy about you like you did back then. Swear to God, it's always obsession, isn't it? Tell me, is there, other than World Is Mine, which is still kind of on the fence because of just simply how bratty Miku is in that song, is there a single Vocaloid song that's about like a wholesome relationship? Let me know in the comments. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a Vocaloid song where it's like genuinely about a wholesome relationship that's not either dead, obsessive, psychotic, deadly. You know what I mean? Like, World Is Mine gets pretty close, but I still feel like that walks the line a little. Psychotic, my argument is nostalgia. Belong to me, you don't need to... So it is obsession. It's upset. Okay. I fell in love with you, why'd you go and change on me? Fun. Okay, actually, meaning-wise, this actually isn't somebody I used to know. It actually reminds me more of a song called Breeze Blocks. I think it's Breeze Blocks. Hold on. Yeah, Alt-J's Breeze Blocks. Do you know where the wild things go that go along and take your honey? It's kind of like, please stay with me. I know that, or I'm gonna blame you, but it's obsessive. It is kind of psychotic, but you know, this is a situation that happens to people where people are like, no, wait, why are you leaving? You are the one who changed. I want you to make me feel in love with you again. You need to do all the heavy lifting. I'm not going to change. You need to be what you were. I don't want you to have grown. I don't want you to have matured. That does happen. That is an issue that happens to a lot of people. So I'm sure this does resonate with a couple of people. So the meaning is okay. I think it's realistic. I feel like it's slightly more realistic than, say, monitoring. So this is an okay given meaning for the song. I'll be honest. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think I've heard a Vocaloid song where there's an actual wholesome relationship. I'm getting just mildly bored after kidding myself, obviously, with over about 20 years of music, almost 20 years of music so far. All within a few months of hyper fixating on Vocaloid. I am getting mildly disinterested with hearing the same type of our relationship is bad song, or our relationship is with a narcissist, or my relationship with a this, or it does kind of sound all the similar to me after a little bit. But then again, I know that I'm hitting myself with many years of music when there's people who are here from the beginning and then they live for the next song, and they didn't have it all. They didn't all intake it at once. So I know that my opinion is definitely different than the next guys or the next guys or the next guys, but this is just how I feel. I'm crazy about you like you did back then, so it's basically I'm gonna put all the work on you, and obviously the reason is no, you don't, right? I love you, and the obvious reaction is actually no, you don't. Etc. You loved who I was back then. I grew up, I matured, etc. I changed, and I don't want to go back to what I was, or etc. I don't want to be yours. Which, again, is a thing that I'm sure resonates with some people, but it doesn't really resonate as much with me. Which I'm a hypocrite for saying, because I was just reacting to Tool Sober the other day, with my mother, and damn, that's a good song. And, obviously Addiction doesn't really, you know what I mean? Afternoon, yeah. Again, obviously, the reaction here is no, you don't. This is just a fucking beat. I fucking love this. This is exactly like Nitrophon. This is like a couple of different things, actually. This blows my mind to hear. It reminds me of Grizz almost. I wish that gone on for just 20 more seconds, man. 20 seconds, this song would have been bottom of A tier instead of top of B. 20 more seconds of just that hard-hitting EDM, I would have loved this track, and I might have been able to forgive the entire third to fourth portion of the song. But you end it there, and it never hits again. It never hits again, and it breaks it to just never hear that again. Because that was fucking awesome. And then just go okay, well, that's done. Not gonna replay that. Dude. You could have thrown just one more breakdown in there. I don't really hear a lot of Vocaloid music that has a serious breakdown. The only other thing that has a serious EDM awesome crack like that is fucking Gomine. You know, and I'm just gonna reference it now. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's the one you all know, blah, fucking cringe. The only other one that sounds like that to me that I've heard like that is Gomine. Gomine, and I can't listen to Gomine because I know what it's about. I'm not doing that. I can't listen to Gomine for the music after I know what it's saying, so I'm kind of locked out of any Vocaloid EDM songs. God, I wish that went for 20 more seconds. Can I do Time Machine, anybody? So essentially this is... I kind of feel like I don't really... You know, I kind of get what it is. You know, anyone else feeling this way? Time Machine, anybody? So it's about somebody who wants to go back to a point in their relationship where it was actually good, and I don't know, maybe they were, you know, younger or, you know, more in love or whatever, but, you know, you have to move on, you have to keep going, you can't stay stuck in the past, you can't control somebody, you can't tell them to go back to where they were, maybe you're the one who's changed, you know, they might have not changed at all. This is just sung from obviously the perspective of, I would say, like, an emotional abuser? Maybe like a narcissist? I know DECO tends to have, like, pretty dark themes in terms of who the singer is. Obviously, the vampire and Donut Hole is both by someone dealing with a specific addiction. This is obviously sung from some sort of emotional abuse type thing, where they're love bombing the viewer. Essentially, they're literally love bombing the viewer by repeating, which I think is kind of clever. I'll be honest. I'll say that's kind of clever. The literal love bombing of the viewer by overwhelming them with "I love you" 20,000 times is kind of clever. It just doesn't work well in a thematic song sense. Like in a story. In the context of the song's story, literally love bombing the viewer by just having Miku go, I love you, 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 no change for me, it's clever. It really is. It's good writing. But the music kind of has to keep up with the good writing, and it doesn't really work, I think, layered over it. Reminds me of watching the Criticals live. The band wasn't EDM, but it was just a wave of everything. I see. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of the Criticals. But yeah, it's pretty clear what this song is about. I think it's a very average simple meaning. I cry, I want to die, good for you, at least you're having fun, that's a guilt trip. This is just a song sung by an emotional abuser. Like, I get it, you know. And again, it's good lyrics, it's right, it is what an emotional abuser would say and do. I want to die, but, you know, good for you that you're having fun. You know, I get it. It's not bad writing. I just... You know, I'm not too into it lyrically, if you know what I mean. I don't feel like it's definitely not a song for me. Screw you, the happy you. Screw you, the happy. So now I'm going to change to it. Screw you because you're too happy for me because I'm sad. And oh, I see. Well, that was actually really clever lyrical writing there. Your feet take you forward. To pull them back is my way of life. So as soon as you start going forward, I will yank you back to me. That's actually really clever lyrical writing. Again, the lyrics in this are great. The writing in this is great. The music does not keep up with the writing. It's a little out of pace, which I feel like that's a thing that happens to a lot of DECO songs, at least to me, is that I feel like the lyrics are on point and the music never seems to like fit or catch up because the lyrics always go a little too fast. I think in general, from what I've heard, DECO definitely needs to make just a little slower songs. I know Vocaloid songs often go really fast. I mean, really fast. But, I mean, just a little slower, and it would be maybe a little bit easier to ingest, I think. It sucks. It's so annoying. It's crumbling love and adoration, melting, I see in the... Keep doing the things that I like. Stay in your current address. I haven't ever changed the keys, so if you want to walk back in to my life, then you can at any time, and I see, yeah. So clearly, we as the viewer, who's playing the opposite side to the singer, have already moved out. This relationship is already over. Just know, I'll say it again and again. Like jealousy is spiteful, how happy. Now, not the future, I want the past. I'll be honest, that line's kind of heavy-handed, because, like, you've been kind of deciphering that that's what it is the entire time. Kind of... obvious. The pass me over, don't ignore me. So, you know, you're spamming messages to the viewer or something, you know. My god, if they had just hit me with the EDM before that, man! Please! Please! I'm begging here! And then this happens, which is obviously a literal love bombing, which is understandable, but... like, it's not a... I've heard kind of like the slowing down EDM thing beforehand. It's, you know, and like that ending bit's not as bad as I thought when I listened to it the first time. Like it does grow on you a little, so it's not as bad as I thought it was. But I feel like it goes on for a little too long, and it doesn't. DECO perfected absolute incredible EDM drop. Just the best EDM drop I think I've heard in a while, even from like mainline EDM producers, for the record. EDM producers don't do EDM this good. You know what I mean? EDM producers don't do this stuff this good anymore. That was freaking awesome, and you were like, yeah, okay, well, the one time I did it, I'm done, now I'm not going to do it again for the entire song. Why? That was so good. The best part of the song. And you're like, yeah, about 10 seconds worth. I'm not doing it ever again in this entire song. Why? That's the best part. The drop's great, and then it just never comes back, and then it slowly slows out, and it's done. It leaves you wanting. It leaves you wanting more in a bad way. I feel like it leaves you. It leaves you having wanted, not leaves you wanting more. It leaves you having wanted to hear more, not want to hear more in the future. It's just a little unfortunate, because it does, again, DECO does really freaking well, and then it kind of just falls off at the end, which was very, very disappointing, I'd say. But yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good reaction to Stuckmoth. I'd say again, like, top of B tier, mostly because of that drop. That drop carries it. That drop carries it all the way from F tier to B tier on its own. But that's just my personal. Obviously, you know, I think Derp would hear that. Like one of my friends who also did the gauntlet that I had Taurus do, my mother do. Yeah, Derp would definitely hear that and go, "Oh God, I hate that," because I don't think Derp likes EDM at all. So that would probably lower it to F tier for them, but. For me, that brings it up to top of B tier, but it just doesn't break A because of the rest of the song kind of slipping away. It is, I will say, a little heavy-handed, I think, on the lyrics, because, I mean, because it did take a second for me to catch on to what was going on. Okay, there's direct emotional manipulation. Oh, I see, it's like a love bombing thing, because literal love bomb, because there's so much of her saying, I love you, like, okay, it took a second for me to catch on, then I caught on, I thought it was clever, and then I was like, yeah, but it was also kind of heavy-handed. So yeah, I'd say this is a very middle-of-the-road song. It wasn't too bad. It's definitely not my favorite. My favorite part was, damn, that was a damn good drop. I'm just not over it. That was such a damn good drop for you to just abandon it immediately after and never do it again. Yeah, it leaves me having wanted to hear more in the song, not in the future. I have to be honest. I put a like on it immediately after hearing the drop. I'm gonna take it away because I never heard it again. And like I would say like maybe the fact that the drop only happens once is because it was supposed to leave you wanting, and Miku's, you know, wanting the love back, so you want the drop back. So maybe it's really clever lyrical writing, but I feel like that's just giving anybody too much credit. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just giving anybody too much credit. Plus, even if that was the intent, I don't really care. I want another drop. Even if the intent is like, oh, you only get it once, and then, you know, you want it again, and then that's how, you know, it ties in with the lyrical theme of the story, and, you know, I'll be honest, even if that's, like, intentional, it doesn't really matter to me, because I don't, you know, sometimes I feel like, a lot of Vocaloid producers tend to focus on the story over the song itself. I think that happened a lot to Static as well for me. I'm definitely not an avid Static fan. I like the chorus. I like all the hidden little references in the music video. Very cool, but at the same time, I think it happens a little bit too often with a lot of Vocaloid producers that they focus on the story and what they can do to tell that story with the song rather than the song itself and what would make the song itself like incredible. And I think it loses a little bit when that happens because yes, you're telling a story and that's very, very cool, but I am here to listen to music as well. And so when I heard this, I was like, oh my god, it's perfect. And then 3/4 to the way, it was all about just like 100% the story, and then they faded out without like any musical coolness at the end. Like it was just a looping sound, a looping sample from Miku and a looping sound of the kind of crazy EDM 8-bit synths that I initially thought were very cool. And I said, if you remember at the very beginning, I said, don't rely on that too much. And then what happened? You know what I mean? I knew I wouldn't like it if it was relied on too much. And then there it's relied on. Yeah, you know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me a little bit of one of the issues I've had. I tried to listen to a very popular album, obviously called Hawaii Part 2 by Miracle Musical, also known as the Tally Hall guys, or at least one of the Tally Hall guys. I tried to listen to Hawaii Part 2 at one point. That kind of looping EDM thing with somehow it kind of reminds me, I think it's Murders. Yeah. It reminds me just a little bit too much of Murders, because it's just kind of a stabbing. It just kind of reminds me just a little bit too much of Murders, to be completely honest, because it's just a looping same sample with a vocal track over it. It's not as musical as I wanted, you know. Yeah, like I think I've said all I need to say. I really liked the drop. About 3/4 in the way, it was still pretty good, and then it just kind of fell apart at the end because there wasn't enough attention, I think, paid to the music as much as it was the story that was being told. And I kind of want a little bit of an equal thing. Like I said earlier, that happened to Static too, where I think the music aspect of it kind of slipped because it became like more of an art project. I know that might be taken a little bit harshly. I think Static is more of an art project to me than a music experience, because it's very not a musically, you know, it's music, yeah, but all the glitches and errors, and it doesn't make it like a song that you could listen to without paying attention to the music video or the theme or the whatever. It's not, you know, hell, bring back to Hawaii Part 2, it's not the Mind Electric where you could technically listen to it as a song and then also listen to it as a story. But that's a critique on Static. So, you know, yeah, this is pretty good. Like I said, upper B tier. I do wish it was just a little better. I do wish it was a little better, but overall, I would say it's a solid track. It's better than some other things I've heard. It's better than Static, as I've been mentioning. But yeah, I think it kind of fell apart a little at the end. Yeah, I think it was just a little too repetitive and just a little heavy-handed, and yeah. But you know, again, like I said, it's a solid track. I would listen to it again. Mostly for the drop, and yeah. I wish I could say a little bit better about it. I really do. I wish I could say a little better about it, but it's just not as good as I assumed it was going to be. Yeah, so I am still dealing with the remnants of a cold, as you can hear. I am still streaming live on the Diamondverse. I'm going to end this part of the stream so I can upload it over on my YouTube channel, which you're probably watching this from. But after that, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to do some keyboard ASMR, and I'm going to do some Fortnite Delulu, and yeah, I'll probably still be streaming if you see this within like the first day or two of, you know, uploading, so Yeah, my God, did I spend 45 minutes listening to a 3-minute song? I spent 45 minutes reacting to a 3-minute song. I talk too much. Anyway, I will see you all later. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye. And yeah, the stream will return shortly.